Research shows that there are 11 to 15 million bits of information around us at any given moment. Yet, we are only able to perceive of 40 bits per second. Now, what this may explain is that the people we meet in our life, these synchronicities we attract into our life, may be reflections of what is active within our own field of energy. And could it be that what blocks us from experiencing more love, more joy, more peace, and more positive synchronicity is that our nervous system and our energy field is tuned to the familiar patterns of the past? So if having toxic people in your life in the past was familiar, and there is a charge in your energy field to that type of person, negative or positive, you may find that that is projected into your reality, that people embody the expectations and the energies of that. And you could even connect this to other levels of science as well when it comes to the expectation effect. The expectation effect is a phenomenon where when you go in many different experiments, they've done this kind of thing in. Whether it's with kids, you give a teacher 30 kids and you say, hey, these are the smart ones, these are the not so smart ones. The ones that are labeled smart from the teacher, only to the teacher, she will literally pull out, or he will literally pull out of those kids. The people that were labeled as being the more smart kids will literally perform as being more smart and will have better tests and will perform more favorably. The ones that are considered slow will not. The joke of the matter is, the kids being smart and not smart were completely random. So the power of the teacher to see half the kids or certain kids as smart, special kids, and certain kids as not, was being projected onto the kids and then bringing out of them those different energies. Now, of course, you think of that and you're like, man, wouldn't it suck if your kid was in that experiment and they were like one of the slow ones? It's like, if you're the kid was the smart one, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But what if we do that in our daily life? Like, there's a trigger in your energy field that says, people better not control me. People better not be narcissistic. I'm so angry because in the past there was this person that was very controlling and they better not be that way. And then we go out with this fear in our energy field and we project that onto other people. So on one hand, you may attract to you people that reflect that energy dynamic back. And on the other hand, you may actually pull out of people that dynamic due to energetic resonance, due to the expectation effect. They've done the same exact experiment before with rats, not even kids, where what they do is they have in a lab, they have all of these rats that have they're in cages. And what they do is they put Post-it notes on the cages. Some say smart rats, some say dumb rats. They have random people go in there. And what they do is they take the rats, they put them through a maze. On average, the ones with the Post-it notes that said smart went through the maze 2 times as fast as the ones that had the Post-it note that said dumb. Interesting, because the Post-it notes were random. So the expectation effect may also be connected to what I've been talking about. It's a little bit more esoteric when it comes to parallel realities. In the moment, with what the double slit experiment shows, is that in a moment that there is a particle that is going through that of a slit, it's both the particle and the wave at the same time, and depending on your observation of it, determines where the particle goes. Another thing they've done this before is that of they get these, if you have little baby ducks, and it's either ducks or chickens, I forget, but basically what happens is in this experiment, they have a random moving machine thing that just randomly moves in a different formation. It just goes in this little box thing, and it goes all the way around all randomly. Well, what they do is they pair to it ducks. Because what happens is when ducks are born, they pair to what they believe their mom is. And whatever their mom is, they'll follow around. They'll follow a human around. They'll follow whatever around. They paired these ducks, to this random generator machine. And what they found is once they did that, the random number generation machine that was going all the way around this big area, all of a sudden stays in this little section instead of going all the way around. And what the belief is that having the ducks, the animals that are tuned to it, influenced this random number generator machine that's just moving around to just stay on one side. Which is very interesting because we're talking about a machine. So could it be that our observation, whether we are a human or even animals, goes into the influence of what reality we're getting, whether it is subconscious or unconscious? Now, what if this also explains, because where I first read this whole 11 to 15 million bits of information was from that of a man named Dr. Hugh Len, who's known for modernizing this practice called Ho'oponopono, which has to do with 4 simple statements of saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And the idea is that we are cleaning our energetic field when we say that. And the phenomenon is another phenomenon that kind of goes into this. And I believe this is connected to parallel reality creation as well, which we're going to talk about here in a sec. And what he did is he went into an insane asylum, and he used his practice of Ho'oponopono. And what he said is everything is just data. Everything is just information. So what he did is he would go into this insane asylum where there was extreme violence. There were people that were constantly getting hired and quitting, high turnover rate because the energy was so bad. There were some mental patients that were being sedated because they were so violent. There were some that were in maximum security. What happened is Dr. Hugh Len goes to this place in Hawaii. He's from Hawaii, goes to this mental asylum, and he begins working. He begins what's called cleaning. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And what happens within a few years, the whole entire vibe has changed. People that were normally afraid to walk around that worked there, all of a sudden that fear wasn't there. It was a more pleasurable place to work. Some people were transferred, the lesser cases, to other less security places. Some people were completely able to go home, the lesser cases even than that. And there was a completely different vibe that happened after 3 years. Now, the crazy thing is that Dr. Hugh Len, he was there for 3 years, but he was not psychoanalyzing people in his office. What he did is he would take people's files and he would clean and he would take responsibility and he would clean within himself, his own energy field, his vision of these people he was working with. And when I first heard this, I thought it was BS, so I did a little more research on it. And what I found out when I looked deeper into it was that he was actually walking around the facility. So he wasn't actually psychoanalyzing them, bringing them into his office, but he would walk around the facility and meet people and see them as healed, see them as more like emotionally coherent and mentally coherent. So what this, I believe, could also be connected to is that of the different versions of ourselves that we expect other people to be. Now, our expectations of how we interact with other people, our expectations of how we're showing up, I think very powerfully influence our reality, which means one of the most important things I believe you can do is to focus on your own field and focus on your own frame. When you realize there is an energetic field around your body, and that within that energetic field is the accumulated thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you can then see that people in your life may be reflecting back certain triggers. They may be reflecting back certain subconscious energies. So with that, one of the most important things I want to recommend you begin looking into is that how you think, feel, and act is active in your energy field. It's on autopilot. And the secret to the new you is to literally start to think new thoughts, feel new emotions, and act in new ways. Now, I want to show you and share with you some of the most transformative hacks that I've used in my own reality to completely change my own life. Now, also, let me share as well, today is the last day to join the Shift Academy. The Shift Academy is my step-by-step monthly coaching program to show you how to shift into a new version of you. This is 6 months of curriculum followed with weekly coaching calls to help you through through your process of transformation. Today is the last day to join. It's been open for a week. Enrollment will close. We'll open back up in a few, probably like 3 to 6 months. But now is the best time to join at the cheapest price you will ever see it. So if you've ever wanted coaching from me, then you can do so by clicking the link below. Check out the Shift Academy. This is part of what I teach. That's why I'm inspired to create this YouTube video right now, because part of the coaching curriculum is understanding your frame and changing your energetic field. And when you change your energy field, you change the external reality you're in. So you can check it out by clicking the link in the description box. Now, let's move on. Understand that your field, you want to expand to include your field of the energies you want to experience. And one of the most powerful ways to expand your energy field is through understanding heart coherence. Heart coherence is when there is mind and heart coherence, is when you are feeling emotions that are conducive to the energy field you want to experience. So what I do for this is every day I focus on meditation, where I observe my thoughts, which is one way to clear some of the energy in your field. Observe it, feel it, allow it to be there. But also prime the energy inside of your heart for what you want to experience. This means think of something you're grateful for. Feel the emotion of that gratitude, because gratitude unifies you with energies so that you can experience new things on the outside. So every day what I do is I focus on something I'm grateful for, and I imagine what I want to experience as if it's here now, and I feel gratitude for it. Because gratitude is an emotion that says to the universe, thank you for this, I already have this. Versus in your field feeling lack. It's what a lot of people do. The 40 bits of information that they experience out of the 11 to 15 million bits, it's lack, lack, lack. And it's therefore they perceive of more lack, which is interesting because there's the abundance of whatever you want, and there's abundance of lack. Whatever you focus on, you get. So one of the most important parts of this is understanding that if you can use your imagination to connect to an energy that's already inside of you, then you can begin to prime your field for more of what you want to experience. Now, to do this, and one thing we do in the Shift Academy, is we look at the frame. If you think of a movie strip and you think of that, of frames of reality, just like we know that in a movie theater, there'll be frames that go through this movie projector. It's all separate frames of reality, but it looks like one fluid movement. Now, what we do is we focus on one frame of reality for what we want to experience. This could be a certain snapshot of something in your life that is conductive of a very high vibrational state. So it could be you at the beach with your significant other, just getting done doing something that you love for a living. And in that frame, you feel a certain emotion. So by focusing on that frame of reality and letting your subconscious connect to it and feeling it as if it's here now, you then begin to see more synchronicities and more opportunities in your life. This is what I did back in 2017 when I started on YouTube. I started to be a full-time YouTuber, and I literally, part of this, because you could say that part of this looks like a vision board in a way, but I'd say the way that you relate to it is a little bit different in the context of understanding parallel realities. It already exists now, whereas vision board is like, I want this would be awesome. And I think that even more powerful is the vision board and this frame that you use to imagine is not the end-all be-all. It is a symbol. It is a symbol that allows you to affect your energy field. That symbol may change as you change. I no longer have the symbol of me just on YouTube with making videos. Now it's traveling the world. It's doing live events. It's changed. But you could also say that that frame has become my outer reality. But in 2017, that's what I focused on. Me being a full-time YouTuber. I filled my field with other things that represented me being a full-time YouTuber. I learned editing. I saw myself. I thought, I felt, I acted as that version of me. So understand that you can begin to prime your field. Now, another thing about this I'll share is that of modeling. Now, there are certain things I watch that allow me to tap into a certain energy of a different version of me. And when I was on YouTube, it was watching other YouTubers and seeing how they do it. And like, oh, I could do that in my own way. That was inspirational for me. Another one is even more recently in the last couple of years, I would watch, there's a show called I'm Not Your Guru with Tony Robbins, where basically showing behind the scenes at his live events. And I actually went to a Tony Robbins Date with Destiny live events right before the world closed down, and in 2019. And I got to experience it. And one of the main reasons I went was just to feel the energy of running an event with 5,000 people. And that was, for me, a way of connecting to the model of a reality, of a version of myself where I, one day, can be living in a similar impact, doing live events in a similar way. So when I would watch that show, it would tap me into an inspiration. I would literally feel an expansion, inspiration, like this is what I want to do. And I would do that even leading up to my live events. That I ran a 300-person live event in LA. Maybe it wasn't 5,000 people, but it was 300 people, and it was epic. And when I was running that, I would watch that show weeks leading up to it. Hear like that documentary, little parts of it, because it would get me excited, seeing behind the scenes, seeing him at his house priming, getting ready to go, seeing the people transform. Like that was a model for a way of me feeding my field with that. Now imagine you surround yourself by people that have very negative perspectives. Imagine you surround yourself with people that are in lower vibrational states of consciousness, that maybe are pulling you down. They don't want you to grow. You are feeding your field with negative energy, with negative emotion. And that can literally keep you tied to what's familiar to it. So one of the most important things I think you can do is understand that through observation, you can begin to clean your energetic field, but understand that the more you can fill up your own field of energy with love, with the feeling of already having that what you want to experience, the more your reality will begin to shift. So this is exactly what has completely changed my own energy field, my own frame of reality. This is exactly how you can change your frame of reality, by becoming aware of what's in it, by priming your field. And if you want to learn how to prime your field and you want to join the Shift Academy, go ahead and click the button below to join. Today's the last day to join for now. Hope to see you on the inside and help you shift into a new version of yourself. And if you want a YouTube video on Ho'oponopono to learn more about the 11 to 15 million bits of information, I'll go ahead and post that right here. By far, the most powerful healing modality I've ever found is